Oh my God, what a game. What a fucking game. Now look, I live streamed the game on this YouTube channel. I also live streamed the game on TikTok, and I'm sitting there and I'm just accepting defeat. And by the way, I'm accepting defeat. I'm talking in the fourth quarter, I am accepting defeat. When the Rams start driving and it becomes evident that they're in field goal range and it's going to take a little bit of a minor miracle, I'm saying, okay, you know what, they're going to lose this game, and I was okay with it. I actually said on both feeds, like, look, what are the odds they block 2 field goals in the same game? Probably slim and none. And I was okay with it because I liked the fight that the Eagles had in this game. The Eagles easily could have packed it in, went home, and said, that's it. Look, it wasn't our day. We look like shit. We'll regroup and blah, blah. And they didn't. So as I'm sitting on my couch and I'm watching the game and I'm like accepting this defeat that I think is imminent, who shuts me up? Jordan Davis shuts me up. Now, I posted a video this week that you can find, I don't know where I'll put it, over here, I guess. Just calling him a bust. Saying he's the 3rd defensive tackle. He was drafted 12th overall. Like, what has he really done? And I will still say, up into this game, he hadn't really done much. This was the Jordan Davis game. Like, this was the game that they had been waiting for. And I'm going to get into all of that in a separate video. But this is a tale of 2 games. I mean, this is really like, it was a tale of 2 halves. This reminded me a little bit of the Dallas game where you had the offense looking really, really, really good in the first half. The defense looked dreadful, and then they flipped, where in the second half, the defense stepped up. The defense shut Dallas down. The offense looked stagnant. And we kind of saw the offense look stagnant for the complete next game against the Chiefs, and then the first half of this game. I don't know what the offense was doing. I think a lot of people were saying the same thing. I know on both my chats, a lot of fire Kevin Petula comments, and I still stand by the fact that I think it's more Nick Sirianni meddling than Kevin Petula as an OC, just because we've seen 2 rookie OCs under Nick Sirianni look like they don't know what they're doing. But whatever the adjustment was in the second half by either Petula or by Nick Sirianni, I don't know who stepped out of it, whatever. It doesn't matter. It worked. This is going to shock everybody out there. When you get number 11 the ball, I forget the guy's name. I think it's like a color. It might be black or orange. No, brown. When you get number 11 Brown the ball, good things happen. And finally we saw a performance from A.J. Brown. It's not like he's not trying. But it wasn't just the catches, the big-time catches. It was him little boying defenders. It was him throwing them to the side, picking up extra yardage. Like, this was frustrated A.J. Brown taking it out on L.A. Rams secondary. We've still really yet to see a really, really strong performance from Saquon Barkley. And I think you saw in this game, especially in the first half, LA making a prioritized effort to stack the box and take away that run game because they got so diced up in the playoffs against Saquon Barkley. And, he had a couple here or there, but I think if you look at the stats, it's probably not anything to write home about. For me, though, the loss of Lane Johnson was big, and hopefully he'll be fine. Hopefully he'll be back the next game because you see the impact that Lane Johnson has. But to go back to the play calling a little bit, whoever it was, and I think it was Sirianni. A lot of people will blame Kevin Petula for the first half gaffes. We'll probably never know until Tim McManus writes an article about it. But for that first half, the offense was so unbelievably predictable that on my stream, when it was 3rd and 15, and 3 minutes left in the half or whatever, I said, "Oh, they're going to do a delayed draw play to Saquon." Because they've done this the last 4 times. It's been 3rd and long. They just do a draw play to Saquon. Sure enough, they did a draw play to Saquon. You've got Matt Pryor in for Lane Johnson. You end up doing a play action dump off to Saquon Barkley on Matt Pryor's side. Like, it was very, very, very confusing play calling, and it was just vanilla, watered down, high schoolish. The play calling we saw in the second half was more of what we, as Eagles fans, have come to expect from this team. They had 33 yards of total offense in the first half. It was dreadful. It was about as bad as you could get. They were being saved and bailed out by Zach Vaughn, who seemed to be the only guy in the first half that showed up. But, man, that second half, the adjustments on both ends paid off big. I don't think Matthew Stafford played well in this game at all. I don't think he was very accurate. I know a lot of people, and myself in the moment, thought that it was a pass interference against Devontae Adams, but I thought it evened out with A.J. Brown's pass interference in the end zone that I thought he should have gotten called for. I thought he pushed off in the end zone, but, they didn't call it, right? But I loved the fight of this Eagles team in this game. As I said, they could have packed it up, and I think the 2023 Eagles would have packed it up. I think you saw the growth from the players that were on that team. I think you saw the learning and maturity of a Jalen Hurts who was on that team as the quarterback, and to not let it go by the wayside. And obviously, look, there was tons of time, but I know people in my chat and my lives, like when they went down, even at one point it was 13-7, and people were like, they're losing this game. I was like, whoa, there's a lot of time left, tons of time. It's a one-score game. But when you're down 23-7 at home and you're getting embarrassed, you're getting booed off the field, it's easy to just go like, look, man, we'll just fight for another day. They didn't. And I think that is very impressive. And I have shit on Nick Sirianni a lot. And I will probably continue to shit on Sirianni if I'm being honest with myself, all right? Like I say I lead the league in self-awareness, and I know myself. I'm probably going to continue to shit on him. In this particular instance, to not let this game get out of hand and to get the train back on the tracks and to put them in a position to win this game late was massive. I don't think Jalen was as accurate. I think Jalen and Matthew Stafford both weren't like the sharpest. But then again, in the second half, when he needed to, like Jalen Hurts started balling out and started throwing it and got him back into it. And it's even more impressive when you factor in that everybody in the building, including the Rams, knew they had to throw to get back into it, and they couldn't stop him. So really, really, really strong win. I think this is a character win. Like as I said, this was a loss that if the Eagles were to drop to 2-1 and they lose to the Rams, I'm not overreacting. I said it before the season. Like they're going to lose a game here and there. It's going to happen. They're a really good football team. It's how they lose the games. I wouldn't have been mad if they lost this game because they fought to get back into it. If what I saw in the first half continued in the second half, that would have been my main talking point. Was like, how do you come out this flat for 4 quarters? And really, it's like, at that point, 10 straight quarters. But it didn't happen. And I wouldn't have gotten mad if they lost the game. Doesn't matter. They didn't lose the game because Jordan Davis came up clutch. And by the way, covered. How about that? Good teams win. Great teams covered. But that, I think, is an indictment of how this Eagles team is a very good team. Because I was getting, like, in the comments on TikTok, like, fraud check. Like, no. Like, good teams win this game. They find ways to win this game. And the Eagles found a way to win this game. Wasn't clean. Wasn't the best performance. We all know that. They found a way to win this game. And kudos to them. 3-0. Gotta love it. A lot better than a loss, am I right? Obviously, the talking points of Sports Radio tomorrow will be more of, okay, they won, that was cool, but, and then it'll be the play calling. But, like, just soak in what we watch, because you don't, the last time I remember a game like this was probably the double doink game. And then before that, it had to be like the Quentin Michael, Matt Ware from like 2004 against San Diego, maybe, where they blocked it to win the game. But, yeah, big shout out to Jordan Davis, who I shit on this week. He shut me up. And obviously, as always, go Birds.